The industry suffered in 2023 because of big slowdown of economy in Europe. What is the way to proceed now for you?
The slowdown, I would say, was somehow expected because after the peak we experienced in 2021 and 2022, we knew that this was going to happen. In this moment, my opinion is that first of all, we need to look at things in the medium-long term. Nowadays, these sharp cycles of increase and decrease of demand, I think they became the new normal. So we need to stay on track knowing that on average there is still an expectation that overall at the EMEA level the industry might be slightly negative, but not as much as we are experiencing in the first 4 or 5 months. So there is an expectation that toward the year end there will be a restart. There is a lot related to consumer confidence. We know that the consumer confidence in the last 4 or 5 months was as low as when we had the pandemic of 2020 due to other factors. But we see also in the last 2 months a slight recovery. Still very negative, but a recovery. So this is, I would say, these are the elements with which we need to live nowadays in terms of business. We need to be more flexible and look more long term and do not overreact on the short term.
Okay, let's talk about customers. Surveys shows that half of Poles are aware of environmental issues, but sometime only 13% declare that they have taken real measures to reduce the negative impact on environment. It is possible to combine environmental awareness with convenience and pleasure.
For sure, yes, but there is, I would say, a human factor behind some of these statistics because I think that more and more each and every one of us is very sensitive on environmental topics. But when it becomes about real choices of purchase, there is still a personal factor stepping in that is related to convenience normally and habits that we have. So nowadays, in order to be, say, serious and practical as a consumer, in order to make our own part for the overall topic of environment and climate, you need to make some decision related to your habits. You need to be ready to change the habits, and you also need to be ready to sacrifice perhaps some short-term convenience in order to go after long-term savings for you as a consumer and as a side effects. So these statistics, as I said, represent very much the education that is going on also from us in home appliance, but overall across industries to explain what is the role that we play in our daily choices of purchase.
Okay, environment is the one, but economic is the two. When customers decide to replace large household appliances, do they consider their ecological properties, or they are guided only by economics? Or is it possible? It is possible to combine one with the other. How does Whirlpool approach these expectations?
For sure, considering that home appliance is a purchase that happens normally in a cycle of, say, 5 to 10 years, if I have to say a number, oftentimes the consumer is not aware of the technological development that happened between the previous purchase and the current offer. So our role as Whirlpool is to be sure that we present and we explain what is the benefit in terms of pure saving, because consumers are anyway looking very much at energy label and energy consumption, water consumption when they approach the purchase.
Is the way to the future this one?
For sure it is, because then you need really to explain what is the long-term saving that you can achieve, and also together with the high efficiency appliances, which are the benefit of technology in terms of pure performance of a washing machine, in terms of cleanness, or a refrigerator in terms of shelf life of products. Because I think the side effect of net zero emission topics like zero waste fill I think they are not easy to be understood by consumers, so we need to translate what is behind in all the chain of manufacturing into real, tangible, economic, long-term benefits and performance benefits of the product.
Okay, how do you think is the way of the future in this part of industry? The saving energy and water, they are topics for the future for many years.
Yeah, they've been always, topics of choice, but they are becoming increasingly important. I think there is no secret on the fact that with the energy bills that are raising 40% plus, these in the criteria of choice of consumer became even more important.
Has Whirlpool already taken steps toward developing these solutions with energy and water when you project a new products?
Yeah, this is always embedded in the way we think at products. We have standards at European level that we need to respect, but this is part also of our commitment that we have when we talk about net zero emission. That is one of the commitments that Whirlpool took to be by 2030 zero net emission. It implies your manufacturing operation, but also it implies what is downstream after you produce the product and it is in consumer home and it generate indirect, we say, effects on emissions. So our commitment is both upstream, so when we manufacture products, but also downstream when the product is in consumer home. So for us is a long-term commitment, and it became a part of our, let's say, ESG strategy. And for subjects like this, once you take a commitment publicly and toward your stakeholders and your shareholders, you cannot walk away from it. It becomes fully embedded in the way you operate, you develop products, and in the way you take decisions at management level on a daily basis.
Okay. Are you looking with optimism in the future of this industry, in your industry?
Yes, I'm an optimist by nature, but I think it's an industry that will experience, as we just talked at the beginning, more sharp cycles in terms of demand, and it's something that we need to adapt to. For sure, it's not going to be like in the past where we were used to this mild fluctuation of demand. So this has changed a lot. But I think we have a responsibility, and when I think at our industry, we are so much present in the consumer life every day. We represent 50% of the consumption in daily bills of consumers, and we can really have a role also in improving the life of people. So definitely I'm looking at the industry with optimism, because we play a role that sometimes is much more important than what we might be used to think in our daily operations. Because these are products that stays with the people for a long time, and they are influencing each and every day their way to behave at home, and also the way they influence the way consumers are able to interact among their households. Yeah. So
okay.
I'm optimistic, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.